Good afternoon, everybody. It is just about 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon on Monday, the 18th of July. I'm still in Sault Ste Marie, Michigan. I'm coming to you from down right next to the Museum Ship Valley camp. We are standing at the end of the boardwalk. I am here with Captain Joe Walters. That is his vessel in behind. It's the RV Kiyi, which means Research Vessel Kiyi. They are with the United States Geological Survey. So I'm here to talk to Captain Walters, just get an idea of what his career is like, what he does on the Kiyi. So first of all, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
It's great to have you here in the Soo.
Thank you.
Kiyi comes here a couple of times a year. We were fortunate that you had some time to be able to spend with me this afternoon. Before we talk about the Kiyi itself, I'd like to talk about you. Give me a little bit of background about yourself and how you got started in Great Lakes shipping and maritimes, and your experience with the Coast Guard, and how you got into USGS.
Well, I was raised in Kokomo, Indiana. When I was a kid, we had a family cabin in Mackinac City on the Straits of Mackinac, and I got interested in it by watching all the freighters go by and just wondering where they were going and what was going on with them. I always felt like I wanted to do something with ships when I was growing up. So I wound up joining the Coast Guard in 1979 and worked mostly in the Great Lakes on the 140-foot icebreakers, the Bristol Bay, the Mobile Bay, and the Nia Bay.
Wow.
Also one of the old 110-foot harbor tugs, the Raritan. And then I also worked on the station on the Sundew out of Duluth as a buoy tender, along with a couple other buoy tenders later on, and finally retired from that in 2000 from Cutter Sweetbriar in Alaska. And then in 2001, I hooked up with the U.S. Geological Survey here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and aboard the Kiyi, where I've been working as the captain since then.
What made you decide to get involved with the USGS?
It was a job that was available.
That's always nice. That's a huge bonus. It's a very unique and creative and different kind of position for sure, as opposed to going into just Great Lakes shipping. You've got a reason behind what you do, and that's a really cool thing. Look at that, we have a boat bomb. That's pretty neat. So tell us a little bit about the Kiyi itself.
Well,
what type of vessel it is and all that kind of jazz.
Kiyi, first of all, is named for a fish that's unique to Lake Superior. You can't find it anywhere else. They used to be in the other lakes, but they've extirpated there. Kiyi is kind of a chub, about a foot, maybe a little bit longer. It's a deep water fish, so you're not going to get it angling, and commercial fishermen aren't going to get it. But it's named for the Kiyi. The ship was built in 1999 in Pensacola, Florida, by Patty Shipyards. It's 107 feet long, it's 28 feet wide, it's 293 tons.
Wow. It's
got twin Cummins engines for a total of about 1,250 total horsepower. Twin screw and a bow thruster, so she's pretty nimble.
Yeah.
She's rigged as a trawler, so that's what we do primarily. The way we do our surveying, we go to predetermined points and put a trawl down either on the bottom or do a midwater trawl, depending on what the project calls for. And we will get a sample of fish, we'll bring that aboard, the scientists will sort them out, take all kinds of data about them, and from all that they can extrapolate the general population of the fisheries of all the fish species in Lake Superior.
That's cool. So you've got a crew of both scientists and mariners that just
right.
say,
Right now the vessel crew, we've got 3 people on board, a captain, mate, and an engineer. And right now we've got 2 scientists. We can carry up to 5 scientists.
Oh wow.
6 scientists, total of 9 people.
Wow, that's great. And you'll stay out on the lakes for how long before you need to actually come in and refuel and resupply and all that kind of stuff?
The ship is designed to be self-sustaining for 2 weeks for 9 people. We don't usually go that long. Usually after a week or so, we'll come in here to the Soo to top off with fuel and water and stuff, and take a day break and get back at it the following day.
Okay. And what about all the other lakes? Like, you're not obviously the only USGS boat that's out there doing this.
Right.
So there are different ones stationed at different lakes across?
Yep. Our main office, our home office, is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's the Great Lakes Science Center, which is a center of the U.S. Geological Survey. We have a ship on each lake We have actually two ships in Sheboygan, Michigan that cover Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. We have one in Sandusky, Ohio to cover Lake Erie. It's actually in Huron, Ohio now. And then one in Oswego, New York for Lake Ontario.
Oh, wow.
They're not all identical. The two lower lake boats are much smaller, and the two in Sheboygan are comparable size. They're slightly smaller, but comparable size.
And are they all doing the same type of work you are?
Primarily, yes. They do things a little bit differently. For instance, we always trawl down bank. You know, we always trawl from shallow water into deeper water. They seem to all trawl in on contour at the same depth. So they do things a little bit differently. It depends on what their history of their sampling has been in the past. And they want to try to keep that method the same wherever they've been sampling.
Are you finding that there's a lot of different kind of species of fish based on the lake that you're in, or are they kind of similar all the way across?
There's a lot fewer species here on Lake Superior.
Oh, wow.
Than there are in the other lakes below.
Do you think that's because of the depth, maybe? Superior is so deep in comparison to the other ones, or?
Very possibly. I really couldn't address that. Also, this is not the only lake that is not a pass-through lake. I mean,
That's true, yeah.
Everything that any fish that would come out of the lake through the river is going to wind up in Lake Huron.
Yeah.
And then therefore maybe in the lower lakes below.
Okay. So how long have you been on the Kiyi then?
I've been over 21 years now. I started in April of 01. I retired from the Coast Guard in 2000 and started here in April of 2001.
And you think you'll finish your career on the Kiyi?
Oh, I'm sure I will. Yep.
What do you think is your favorite part about the job?
Just the absolute jaw-dropping stark beauty of Lake Superior.
That's true. Yeah.
We circumnavigate. We do a full circle tour along the shoreline at least once a year, sometimes 2 or 3 times a year, and all along the shoreline, both the U.S. and Canadian sides, is just absolutely beautiful. When you can see it, sometimes it's so foggy you can't see it.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
But
So your season starts and stops when normally?
Ice out, ice in.
Oh, so you're the same length. I would have thought that you would start a little later and end a
Well,
little
we
earlier.
do start a little bit later. Our first trips are in May. We have started as early as in April, as soon as the ice has gone out. But these past few years, it's been more middle of May, I guess, when we started. And then we will run, depending on what they've got scheduled, we'll run into October. And we have run all the way into December before.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Then the limiting factor is when our slip in our home port freezes over, we've got to get back before it gets too thick for us to get back into it.
And your home port is where?
Ashland, Wisconsin.
Nice. Is that relative to, where's the closest port near it? Sturgeon? No.
What
would be close? Duluth? Closest, I guess?
Shipping port?
Yeah.
That'd be Duluth Superior.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
2
just because
harbors
I want
is
to
right
drive
across
there.
the 2 harbors would be on the North Shore, so that'd be a little bit closer.
Oh.
In Silver Bay.
I'm going to have to think about that now when I'm driving around. I have to do my tour around to Duluth still, so I might have to make a pit stop there sometime. Well, thank you for doing this. I think everybody's going to enjoy this. It's not often we get to see your ship here, and it's such a cool thing. I really like it. It grabbed my attention right from the very first time I saw her. Maybe it was the color, I don't know. But she's a beautiful vessel, and it's been really nice to talk to you. I had a chance, for anybody who doesn't know, I know Captain Walters from the International Shipmasters Association. That's where we first met. So I've had the pleasure of knowing him for the last number of years, and he graciously agreed to do this with me, and I'm very appreciative. So thank you, Captain.
My pleasure.
We will talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye for now.